the applause from this Villa crowd. And why wouldn't you be? What a way to end the game. What was that feeling like when you saw that hit the back of the net, Emi?
Incredible, because this team, I think the last couple of weeks we showed some character. Some games coming from behind in the games. The other night in Brentford was really tough, and the team showed an incredible character as well as to fight, to come back the game. And today, against the top team in the table, we did it again. So we fight until the last minute, the last second. So it's a really incredible win.
Matty, what a win. How big does that feel, beating Arsenal here?
Yeah, fantastic. I think, obviously, we knew it was going to be a really demanding game. But I think we were fantastic, and the crowd here today helped us through right at the end. And honestly, yeah, that was the craziest I've ever been. But now, so happy, for this man as well.
Yeah. Feels like ages ago that you actually put Villa in front. But how much did you want to exploit that space that Arsenal gave you in that first half?
No, yeah, it's what we spoke about, to be fair. In the first half as well, having John a little bit more inside and then me on the overlap. And there was a chance I had right before as well that I maybe could have done a bit better. But yeah, I just saw it and I hit it first time. It was nice.
Great goal. What about the way Aston Villa started this season? It was a really difficult start. And now you're second in the Premier League table. What does that say about this team?
Like I said before, some character, trust the process. Like the manager said, every single day, building the team, believing in what we do, in what we can do in this tough league. So yeah, I think we are showing every game we are doing big steps. So we need to continue this work, and we have many good games ahead.
The crowd seems so up for it today. What can Villa achieve this season?
Anything. Obviously, we've got to take it game by game, you know, and just keep working hard and taking it in our stride. But at the minute, we're on a great run. But we know it's not even Christmas yet, so we have to keep being demanding, keep being consistent, and then we'll see where it takes us.
Well done, both of you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Reaction on the way, but we're still trying to digest it here, really. I mean, it was incredible drama from Villa there.
Wasn't it just, you know, I was just trying to think about what the two managers were going through at that stage. I believe that if the minute that Arsenal got off the bus, if you had said to Arteta, I'll take this draw here today, they'd taken it all day long and just got back down to London again. And for Emery then thinking a couple of chances, one that's gone across the box about 15 minutes earlier, and thinking, well, that's it now. Then there's a scramble in the penalty box, and you're looking around and you're thinking, you wonder who's going to get the touch to it, and your man gets it and Buendia puts it in the net. It's extraordinary, and an extraordinary feeling that they will have going into the dressing room now.
I think as well, Martin, you have to look at the substitutions he made. Marlon coming on offensive, Buendia coming on offensive. So I think that maybe should have been the signal to Arsenal, is like, right, let's shut up shop now, because they're.
What you're saying is here, the game management wasn't quite right for us.
No, not when we got into like 80. I think once you get into 85 minutes, you start getting past that. Martin will know more. Obviously, being a manager, knows what he wants to take in that moment. I think that Arsenal go in there. Let's face it, Villa with the chances they had, they could have won the game with the chances they had. I think you then say, right, let's take what we've got now and get back to London, Mark.
I have the utmost regard for you, Red, but here's my point. I think some players have to take responsibility. You mentioned Madueke should have run it into the corner.
Yeah.
These are the type of things. The manager would be encouraging him to do exactly that. Yeah. So, you know, you're talking about the man management or the game management time, then sometimes it's not down just to the manager. He would have been shouting those, although Madueke wouldn't have been able to have heard him, but he would have been shouting, take it to the corner.
So your point is players on the pitch at that point should take responsibility.
I think you know this. These are not young players anymore. You should know this. You know the last 5 minutes of a match is going to be very tight. You'll know what the manager's thinking. He will have taken the draw. Now, it's great to be offensive, and it's great to be thinking that you can score in the last minute. And if you did get it, let's say Madueke had broken through and then suddenly something opened up for him, he scored a goal. There'd be nobody back in the dressing room saying, oh, we were going for that. You know, I remember one particular incident at Nottingham Forest in a European Cup game when a lad called Colin Barrett made this big run against Liverpool. We're 1-0 up, and the management team are desperate for him to stay put. He keeps running, and they're shouting at him to get back. He scores the goal, and it's, oh, fantastic. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you know, the game can change, but absolutely, definitely, that Arsenal would have taken the draw there with 5 minutes to go.
Yes. Is it too simple to say, if you've won the league and been there before, that you know you do that, you feel it, you smell it?
Well, you could say that now. When you lose a game like that at that stage of the game, you could say, oh, it's because they haven't done that. But I have to agree with Martin. Naturally, as a forward, if we're getting into that stage of the game when they're putting pressure on, they've just put 2 forwards on, 2 offensive, then you naturally know, Steve, that, you know, I'm going to start running it into corner flags now. You know, because, like, a point at Villa at this stage is good. And I think a lot more people will lose points at Villa Park.
Of course.
But it would have been a good one to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, again, you're away from home. You're against the side who are right up alongside you. And this is a very, very important stage of the season. Now, every game, I suppose, is. But now coming into Christmas, and the last thing you want to do is just surrender that great record that you've had in the circumstance that you've had. Had Villa scored 15 minutes earlier, and you then get an equaliser yourself, you'd fine, absolutely, change all sorts of plans. But when you're holding on to something then at the end of the day, and you've had a little bit of luck about 10 minutes earlier, take that luck and just run it into the corner.
Could Arsenal have done anything more with the goal? I mean, they put 2 or 3 tremendous blocks in the build-up, didn't they? Well,
this is what I'm saying. I thought it was brilliant defending. I was hoping that someone would clear it, but the way it was going, you know, the way Buendia, you could just see where Buendia is. He just stays in and around it, you know. He has a shot there, you know what I mean? He passes it there, but then he gets up and he's just staying involved, waiting for something scraps. But then that's the composure. He's waiting for something, and the composure is to not just slash it. He's placed it in past the goalkeeper. Great save from the goalie, great block from Timber there, great block from them again there. But then you can see he's just waiting. He's just waiting, Buendia, on the edge of things, like what's it called, flankers, you know, to get the ball and throw it out again. He's just, and that's a good finish. And I'll give Villa that. You know what I mean? Because they kept going. They've done well.
Yeah, I don't think that Arsenal could have done much more in that penalty box. They've got bodies behind it. They've tried to block it off, and the ball's just flukily come out again. That's the point. But overall, it's the minutes leading up to that that were the concern for them.
And Villa's character to keep going.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the manager. We've praised him all day long. And so he might as well take the credit for it.
He's got to get credit for that, Steve, because he's brought 2 forwards on at the depth there. You know what I mean? Now Villa, 3 points behind. They'll feel confident. They started the season pretty poorly after, you know, everything that happened to them last season, missing out on Champions League, not being able to sign players and starting the season so badly. Now they've got themselves in a position where they're 3 points behind the leaders, who everybody's talking about as, you know what I mean, who's going to catch Arsenal? Now they're 3 points behind them, so they will be full of confidence in that. And then this is a good test for us again, because we've got to, at some stage, take the baton of, we're going to try and finish this off. You're going to get games like that, and you have to try and finish them off, Steve. You have to take something from it. You can't lose games.
So Villa are 3 points behind in December. So, I mean, the question is, I guess, in this crazy old season, are they in the title race?
Of course
they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They can win the title.
They can win the title. A number of teams can win the title. Will they win it? It might be a totally different thing. And it will depend, really, on their major players staying fit. I think that's the big thing. Now, also, like Arsenal, like Manchester City, I suppose they're in European football. That does take it out of you, depending on what sort of mentality you have, what sort of feeling you have towards the Europa League, for instance, that Aston Villa could win. They are capable of winning it. There's no question about it, because I feel, particularly in the Europa League, that the English teams are pretty strong. You know, but what, you know, now that you've put yourself into a position of trying to win the league, I think that if you were asking the little manager, I think you'd think, well, I think if you give me the Premier League title, I can think about Europe in another 5 years, you know?
Let's listen to that noise at Villa Park, and in doing so, Unai Emery's side go within 3 points of the league leaders and 2 clear of Manchester City, who are going to watch in goal rush, of course, shortly at home to Sunderland. And that is now 9 wins in 10 Premier League games for Villa. And just look what it means to them. Listen to that noise at Villa Park. You know that noise well, Martin. What late drama, what a win for your former club.
Oh, that is sensational. Sensational, Steve. Absolutely sensational. Buendia gets the goal. Well done, him. Really, really well done. But a magnificent victory for them. We were just talking here in the last few seconds of the game, Arsenal to take a draw all day long, and suddenly then it's just it's magnificent, absolutely magnificent.
Huge moment for Aston Villa, but perhaps a huge moment in the season. Did you worry that was coming in those closing stages, or do you think Arsenal had seen it out for a valuable?
No, I thought they saw it out, but it didn't feel like they were seeing it. It didn't feel like they were actually trying to see it out, especially when you saw it just not too long ago, like Noni Madueke taking players on. Maybe that's the kind of situation you run it down into the corner, because I said at the start of the game, you know, I would take a draw. You know, we would have taken a draw. It's a good draw at Villa with the way they're playing, but I think it's more important that we manage that. We have to say, right, let's take a draw. No more trying to take people on. Let's get down into the corner flags, Martin, and take the point and go again next week. But you have to give Villa a lot of credit. He's made good substitutions. They've come on and they've kept the pressure on. And unfortunately, for Arsenal, you know what I mean, Buendia's come up with a winner.
They recovered from a period in the second half when Arsenal came out, you know, all guns blazing, got the equalising goal, and looked as if they were going to take control of the game. But slowly but surely, Aston Villa came back into the game, and you felt you're absolutely right. If you might as well try and take the ball down to the corner, but if you're not going to do that, you see the game through. And that's unlike Arsenal, I must admit. But even so, that melee in the penalty box, and that's a great victory for Villa.
Wow, what a start to your Premier League.
Buendia started the game on the bench, Robbie. Came on in the 87th minute. Here he is coming on. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, and fair play to the manager. This is an attacking sub late into the game against Arsenal. They're trying to win the game there. He's involved a couple of times. I think we talked all the way through the game about Arsenal's back line looking stretched, looking a little panicked at times. And Arsenal had so much control really for the second half, but they always looked a danger of Villa when they got the balls into the centre. I mean, this is just keeping it alive for Villa. I mean, some brilliant defending as well in there from Arsenal. Look at the Arsenal players back there. Declan Rice is trying his very best, but it just falls to Emi Buendia. A little bit of space there. He pokes it through, and you feel good for Buendia. He's been a lot of injury problems. He's not really a starting player, but so often he comes inside and makes a goal. And there it is, number 10 there, and there's nothing the goalkeeper can do that time, and it's just an amazingly dramatic finish. Again, look at Rice trying his very best at this time. Can't get the block on.
And Robbie, of course, the story is going to be Arsenal, because they were the league leaders coming into the day and they have now lost. But Aston Villa, 9 wins from 10 and second in the table. Yep. Do we have to sit up really and take notice now of this team? Of course we do.
Of course we do. And it was astonishing, their start to the season. We couldn't believe it, how flat they looked. But the manager's a great manager and he's gotten back on track. And Villa Park, with this kind of run now, getting them involved in the game. I actually thought Villa might get them a little bit more involved. Arsenal's football was good enough to kind of quieten that a little bit. But they always looked a threat because of the reasons we talked about before the game, at half-time, and we're going to talk about it now. Arsenal's defence was different and stretched.
Before the game, this gentleman to my left, in case you were still asleep at home, said he felt very relaxed, very comfy about this game. Half-time is a little less comfy. How are you feeling now, Lou Dixon?
Not great.
Not great.
Great for Villa. I mean, let's get that right. They played brilliantly today as far as the game plan and everything, and the way they went about that broken up back line, if you like, from Arsenal. And they disappointed me a little bit at the back. I thought they'd be a little bit more structured. If you're going to have players coming in and it's all shaken up because of the best two centre-backs are not there, then I would have played, you know, I think Arteta maybe got it a little bit wrong. I think maybe I'd have gone, do you know what? Stay as a back four today. And that goes against the grain for him, because he's like, no, we're in great form, let's just put a player in. But they were changing 2 players. One was coming in at centre-half. Wright was playing, hasn't played a lot of football at right back, so it did disjoint it. Calafiori, who's been absolutely amazing, was all over the place today, couldn't get his positioning right, and I think they played too high, the 2 full-backs, and it cost them today. And I think Arteta will look at that and say, maybe we should have just played like that instead of playing like this.
A little bit safer in the way that they play.
Yeah, because they've got enough talent to be able to break a Villa side. And also, if you stay a little bit like that and then draw Villa onto you a little bit at home, the fans would have got behind them and said, no, go and attack. Then there's a few more spaces for Eze. He wasn't in the game in the first half. So I think they just got it a little bit wrong. Having said that, Villa was superb.
Agree with that on Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, you know, because if they would have done that, right, and don't win the game, others would have said, well, they should be braver and attack more and go there and win games like that. But I tend to agree. Those defenders in an unfamiliar full back line were showing up all over the place.
OK, well, if you're just joining us today and you missed...
Welcome back. Only 4 weeks ago, Aston Villa were 11 points behind Arsenal in the table. At the moment, they're halfway to reducing that gap to just 3 points, 1-0 up at Villa Park at half-time. Another very impressive 45 minutes from your former club, Martin.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been terrific. I think Villa are good value for their lead at the minute, and maybe could have been 2, or Arsenal might have been 2-0 down. But they've played strongly. I think that they've had more room in the middle of the field than I thought they would have, you know, because Arsenal can be very, very compact. But they've been able to play through Arsenal, and really impressive. I've got to say, really impressive.
Before we see the goal, you'd seen a warning sign just 8 minutes earlier.
It's the left side's giving me a problem at the moment. Calafiori's coming up and he's going inside. Eze wants to go inside, and I just feel that Matty Cash has got so much space to run into, continue. You could see him there, you know, leaving Eze behind there, and this was a warning. You know, Declan Rice does unbelievably here to block that. But then, in this instance, you see Eze, he has a look, he sees him there, but then I think his body, he needs to open his body out a little bit more, because even though it gets a little deflection, he's reacted too late, and then it is too late. You know, Matty Cash can get forward and do it. I just think that our left side is nowhere near as productive as the right at the moment. I think Saka's having to do quite a lot. This is why at some stage we're probably going to see something on the left side. Maybe it's Martinelli, Trossard, I'm not sure. Maybe for me it'd be Martinelli, but that was a massive warning sign to come in the first place.
Lovely finish. 5 goals for club and country, Matty Cash. He seems to be he's got the winner against Manchester City. Now he's scored against Arsenal. He seems to be the big game player at the moment.
He has done very, very well, I must admit. I managed him for a few matches.
It's all down to you.
My short... No.
I'm being joking.
No, I know you are. Absolutely the opposite. Everything I said to him, he's done exactly the opposite, and he's coming back. So, no, I had him for my 19 games at Nottingham Forest, and you always felt as if he could be a proper wing-back in that side. Maybe not... I wasn't totally sure about him defensively, but he was a strong runner, very, very strong runner, and I'm delighted he's doing well.
We heard from and talked about Ollie Watkins before the game, and his record against Arsenal with 6 in 10. Yeah. Should he have made that 7?
Yeah, he should have. I think it was a great player. Martin's right. Down the middle, Villa, like here, I know Declan, I think he goes down there, he gets a little knock, so that's why they've got through. But this was good. This is all fantastic play, but it's when you get here, that's where you've got to show the composure. I think he could give the goalie the eyes and just slot it down the left, because when you look at David Raya, as he brings his left foot through, this is where Declan gets injured, that's why John McGinn gets it, but as he brings his left foot through to shoot, Steve, the goalie's already on his way down, and that's where you do that, and then you just open your body out and put it to the left-hand side. So as much as I could say Villa have been they have been worthy of the lead, they should be 2-0 up. Definitely should be 2-0 up.
I wouldn't disagree with that at all. You know, and we're talking about a maestro here who would put the ball in the net anyway. But you would have thought after the 2 goals he scored midweek that you know, just the confidence would be up. And you're absolutely right. You know, if he puts that into the left-hand side, the goalkeeper's never getting it.
But he did, and they have reduced it to 1. But only Liverpool.
And we've tracked Santa across the skies from the World Cup draw in Washington. Ali Mackay, he's made it back to join
I didn't realise you were taking my name in vain, Lindsay.
Well, we did wonder whether
what has filtered back to me?
You've been on the town with Carlo Ancelotti. It's good to see you, though,
Great
Ali.
to see you.
And you got back just in time to see Matty Cash give Aston Villa the lead. Was it a preventable one, though, from an Arsenal point of view?
I think it is. It switches off, doesn't he? You could say it's maybe perhaps slightly typical of a forward in that area. He isn't aware of what's going on behind him, and Cash comes in. Listen, beautiful finish. Strikes it really, really well. But, you know, if you're defensively in that position, you have to have a look. You need to open your body up and look over your left shoulder. There he turns square on. and it's too late for him. But great finish, Crouch.
Yeah, he's ball watching Eze, and he's just looking the wrong way, and then gets a march on him. He's done that well, Cash, chopping in at the back post.
He had a good chance before that as well, didn't he? That was blocked by Declan Rice. High quality chances on both sides as well, including for Arsenal. Erdegaard had a chance, and Saka as well, Crouchy.
Yeah, they do, but I don't think Villa will be too displeased. I think they've limited him to kind of maybe half chances. I mean, this is the product of their own downfall here. Martinez fizzes it into him, and they get the shots off, but they've mainly been shots from distance, haven't they? It's not been too troubling for Villa.
No, that's what I think, Crouch. I think you're spot on. If you're Unai Emery, you're actually delighted. You've limited him to 2 shots from 20-25 yards. But I'll tell you what I will say, I think it's been really high quality. I've really enjoyed the game. It's been zipping about, particularly in the middle of the park. Villa are finding their way through the edges. It's been good. It's been really, really good. It's been positive. It's been aggressive. One of these games, you've got to be on your toes all the time. The touch has got to be good, and they're fighting for every inch of space. I've really enjoyed it.
Giving them such a tough test, Aston Villa, aren't they? Which the fans here are delighted about.
They really are. I think Tielemans in particular, he's feeding out to Rodgers, who's got dancing feet. You know, he's taking people on, and Ollie Watkins is making some great runs in there, and they can't really live with him, the 2 centre halves.
Are you already thinking of changes if you're Arteta?
I think so. It might give them 5-10 minutes, but they've got a strong bench. I would be surprised if you don't see the centre forward coming on at some point, definitely. But I think, as I say, it's been a top class first half. But I think Villa have shaded and probably just about deserved to be in front.
Yeah, they have that lead at half time. It has been really.
Casi a producto nuevo por semana, producto bonito que, por supuesto, pues siempre invitamos a la gente a que consuma. Si queréis encontrarlo en kingsleague.pro, pues ahí tenéis las nuevas chaquetas training y también esas camisetas especiales con detalles dorados que llevan todos los equipos.
Oye, ustedes tendrán más memoria que yo, pero ¿cuánto quedaron la última vez que se enfrentaron ellos?
3-4 ganó 1K.
3-4.
En el histórico de estos dos equipos, el que gane desempata, porque han ganado 2. El X Buyer Team ha ganado 2. 1.
Becker se lleva el rebote. Becker para marcar. Becker. El rechazo de Arnaldo.
¡Vamos! ¡Vamos!
¡Gol!
¡Vamos, Pablo! ¡Qué suerte!
Mascarra en el Cooper Arena. Gol de Pablo Becker.
No será capaz, ¿no? ¡No será capaz! ¡Qué cabrón! ¡Qué cabrón!
A ver
Si
salen
sacan
2.
más de 3, se quedan sin trabajo. Mira,
¡Hombre!
muy bien.
Dos,
¿Cómo
bien.
valoran el trabajo? Bien.
Ahí está ese ataque por parte del X Buyer Team. El toque dentro de Becker. Puede marcar Carbó. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! Pablo Becker. Becker que quiere poner el centro por delante. Finalmente lo pone por detrás del defensor. Carbó la pista. Carbó.
No jodas.
¡Madre mía! ¡Es que es el mejor de esta puta competición!
¡Por algo es el Corona de Oro! China la juega atrás, no se decidió a tirar. Granero busca su perfil, Granero.
Golazo.
¡Gol! De 1K. Marca Granero. Y sí, otra vez lo ha vuelto a hacer. Buyer, mira, no,
Gol doble. Gol doble, claro, porque tiene sanción. Ah, claro, vale.
Sanción, efectivamente. Grande. Claro que sí. Bueno, sinceridad ante todo. Ahí está. Juanma el toque. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Velillas! ¡Gol! Balón que lleva ahí Pluvins el disparo. ¡Gol!
Vale.
¡Gol!
Me gusta.
Está haciendo un buen trabajo defensivo, ojo.
¡Granero!
¡Qué golazo!
¡Qué chicharro de Mar Granero! ¡Qué barbaridad! El recorte de zurda y el disparo con la derecha. Que la metió en la escuadra. Ojo ahora que ataca el X Buyer Team. ¡Gol! ¡Del X Buyer Team! Va a pegar Fuad en la falta.
Santa madre de Dios. Sí.
Vamos a ver ahí esa pelota dentro del área para Juanma, que lo puede matar. ¡Gol!
2 de Juanma.
Sí, no podía ser otro que Roger Carbó. No sé si te imaginabas que tu vuelta iba a ser de esta manera.
La verdad que no, o sea, ha sido la vuelta ideal. Hat-trick, partido de octavos y mañana jugamos cuartos, o sea, ha sido ideal. Aunque el trabajo no, o sea, me lo llevo yo, pero el trabajo es de todos. Hemos trabajado mucho y al final los resultados se han visto reflejados en el campo, así que muy contento.
Parecía o puede parecer que sois el rival más débil por todas las bajas, pero en los pasillos se comenta que nadie quiere enfrentarse a vosotros.
Bueno, a ver, yo escuché una persona que dijo de Gigantes que quería enfrentarse a nosotros, así que mañana a las 9 no te preocupes, que estaremos aquí con muchas ganas, y más después de esas declaraciones. ¿Sabes por quién voy?
Yo no lo sé quién es.
No lo voy a decir, esta persona lo sabe.
Bueno, pues enhorabuena.
Muchas gracias.